Good evening, everybody. This is Andrea, the Life Igniter. Truly excited to be here on tonight, coming to you live just to share a few nuggets as I have been on my quest and discovery of talking and reading up on Queen Esther and everything. So just wanted to share some more wisdom keys and nuggets that I've been getting during this time of really paying attention to her life, her process, and things of that nature. So just wanted to share that information with you on this evening. If you don't know me, I go by Andrea the Life Igniter. I help to reignite self love, wholeness, and hope to help you live ignited and thrive in every area of your life. And I help individuals who feel blocked emotionally to clear their emotional pathways so that they can awaken to their true authentic self and help you to go on your sacred journey within by utilizing my 7-step butterfly transformation process called the Process of Ascension Experience. And tonight, again, I want to share with you a few things about believing in yourself when you have those moments where you feel like you just want to throw in the towel, or you feel your calling is calling you to come forward into view and show up in a way that may be outside of your comfort zone. And one thing that I thought was so interesting about Queen Esther, which is, if you don't know who she is, she's a woman who is talked about in the Bible, a woman who was adopted by her uncle, and her charge and her calling was to go through this purification process to prepare herself to go before the king, but she had to like disguise her true identity and go undercover, so to speak, because the man who was the king at the time had a charge out to kill her people. And so it was a call that was made upon her to go undercover and to go before the king to try to stop him from having her people killed. And so that took a lot of bravery, that took a lot of courage. And what I thought was very interesting was is that even though she went through her entire purification process and she did everything that was necessary, from healing her heart, healing the brokenness of her emotions that she felt. She used myrrh. She went 6 months with myrrh and frankincense to purge and purify her body. And then she went through another 6 months of using sweet spices and oils to help cleanse and beautify herself and things of that nature, so that she could properly prepare herself to go and be presented before the king. And in that process of her going through the purification part, as well as making sure she had the finest garments to be presented before the king, when she finally had her moment, she had a moment where she actually fainted and passed out. And what I thought was interesting was is that in that moment, when she fainted, she had said something that was just like so intriguing, but she just was in awe about being in the king's presence and really sharing her heart and carrying the weight of what it was that she was sent there to do and what she was sent there to say, and the charge that she had been given. But what really inspires, encourages me about her story is the fact that she did it afraid. She did it with reverential fear, out of obedience, of knowing that this is something that she had to do. She knew that she had to carry this thing out, and it was a potential high possibility that she could die, because she wasn't considered as one of the people who was well received, because she came from the same group of people who were being killed. And so even in that, she found favor with the king, and her bravery and courage is the thing that really inspires and motivates me to continue to move forward and to do the things that God has been calling for me to do. And just wanted to encourage you all, to let you know that guess what? You can do it if you believe that God has called you to a particular thing, and he's calling you to come forth out of hiding in plain sight, is what my business coach calls it. And she's even wrote a book about that. Sandra Kamayu has wrote a book about hiding in plain sight. But If you feel your calling you to come forward, calling you to step into the open space or onto a platform to show up in a way that you've never done before, I just want to encourage you that guess what? Even though you might feel fear, a lot of times fear shows up when we feel like we're alone. Fear shows up when we feel like we're not good enough. Fear shows up in our insecurities, or sometimes low self-esteem. It shows up as a trigger sometimes when we're outside of things that we're so used to having some control over. But when you take a moment and you pause and you begin to think about, you know, I'm not alone. God is with me always. And I know I shared this on another video where I talked about fear and how the scriptures tell us in the word, it says, he'll never leave you nor forsake you, right? He'll never leave you and he'll never forsake you. But we have to understand that there are times when our thoughts depart or they drift away, right? And then the word also tells us that you have the mind of Christ, and that Christ he's within. He's with you whenever you're in the bellies of the depths of hell, or you're in a valley situation, or when you're on the highest of highs, right? He's with you. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. So if he'll never leave you and he'll never forsake you, that means he's always there. The only thing that leaves or that gets distracted is our thoughts. So anytime our thoughts drift away from acknowledging and paying homage and just acknowledging the fact that God is here. I'm not alone, right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hey, Christina, thank you for tuning in. But when we acknowledge that he is here and I'm not alone, but if I channel my thoughts into the presence, I acknowledge his presence, no matter what situation I find myself in. If it means that I got to show up on a stage and there's an auditorium of 1,000 people or 100,000s of people, right? And I have to show up on stage and I have to give this speech, or I have to show up on a video and get out of my comfort zone. Guess what? I'm not doing this alone. I'm not here by myself. I'm not alone, right? When you believe and understand that you are not alone, guess what? That fear will start to dissipate and fade away. And I just want to encourage you to let you know that guess what? You can do whatever it is that God is calling you to do. And when he's calling you to come out of your comfort zone, whether it's in your purpose, whether it's going for a position that you're like, oh my God, I don't know. I mean, it's something new. I believe that I qualify for it. Like all my credentials say, or my experience says that I qualify. I'm just going to try something completely different. If you've prayed about it and God is saying, go for it, but go for it in faith, trusting and believing that if it's for you, that door is going to open up for you. And when your calling is calling you to come forward, move in it, because our obedience comes with blessings, right? Obedience is better than sacrifice. And so when we do it, even though it feels uncomfortable to us, when we do the things that are necessary, even though, we may feel like we're going to lose some things, we might lose some people, we may have to cut some things off. We may have to change some behaviors that aren't serving us at this next level and dimension that we find ourselves in, because sometimes our behaviors in one season may not be effective in a new season. So sometimes even in that, not only are our behaviors not effective, but our thought processes may not be effective. And so when they're not effective, we have to do something different. We have to show up in a way that is different. And we have to begin to transform our mind. The word talks about transform your mind daily. We need to transform our thought processes, because there's always things that we're going to face each and every single day that is going to always try to overrule and override the positive programming or the positive thoughts that are going to help us to be our best self. And so we're going to have to do what's necessary to remind ourselves about who we are, to remind ourselves when, thoughts of or feelings of insecurity want to come up and overrule and try to tell you what you're not. Or if you had that moment where there might have been someone who was near and dear to your heart that you highly looked up to, and they told you a doubtful thing about what you could not do, or what they were trying to discourage you, to tell you that you'll never be or you'll never amount to anything. Guess what? Sometimes we have to go back to the mainframe and we have to renew our mind, to put into our minds, to rewrite the script, to tell ourselves the positive things that's already been spoken over our lives before we were even in our mother's womb, right? We have to remind ourselves daily, because there's always going to be something or someone that's going to come up to try to tell you who you're not. Sometimes it's that inner critic on the inside of you. Sometimes it's somebody close to you who's in your inner circle that's going to tell you what you're not, or tell you what you're not capable of doing. But no matter what, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to know that, guess what? It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If I take the time to conquer the giants within myself, and I take the time to heal the things on the inside of me, and get anchored, right? Get grounded in those things that are going to help and encourage me to show up in a way that's going to help me to be who I know God has called me to be. And then on top of that, give yourself permission. That's something that I know that I've had to do. I had to give myself permission to say, you know what? I'm done with trying everything else. I'm done with having this in the back wings just in case this doesn't work. No, I have to be all in. I have not given the thing that God is telling me to do I haven't gone 10 toes down for this. Like, I've had one foot in and one foot out, right? I haven't been all in deep, right, with this thing. I'm all in 100%. In the minute that you do that, I'm a living witness to let you know that God is going to supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory, even when things don't look like they're coming together around full circle, even when things feel like the bottom is going to fall out from underneath you. And one thing that I had read, it was Small Straws in the South Wind, and I want to share this. This is actually for today, and it says, when circumstances seem uncertain, do not be afraid. Circumstances change, but I never change. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I care for you and will lead you through the maze of difficult conditions. Trust me to reveal solutions to the problems that you face, right? Be strong and have faith. And that's in Hebrews 13, chapter 8. And it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Forevermore. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Excited to have you here on today, but just want to encourage you all. If this is inspiring you, encouraging you, be sure to share this out. And I do want to share with you all that I do have a 12-week coaching program. I am looking for founding members to be a part, to participate in a founding member launch that I will be launching at the end of this month. It's called A Sacred Journey to Ignite Your Beautiful Soul. And this is where we take the time to deal with those fears. We deal with those those limiting beliefs, those things that are not helping you to be your best self, right? And we're going to deal with those unhealthy patterns that are not helping you to become your highest version of you, right? We're going to learn how to cut away those things and do the work. There is an inner working that has to be done on the inside of each and every one of us. And just like Queen Esther went through this whole 12-month purification process, that's basically what we're going to be doing in this program. We're going to go through 12 weeks of really doing the necessary work of dealing with our souls, dealing with those things that have held us back, overcoming those limiting beliefs, identifying the purpose for why we're here, reigniting self-love by looking at those rituals that were done to help eliminate the emotional traumas of our lives, right? Or whatever trauma that you've experienced or gone through in your life. We're going to establish the things that are necessary to walk in wholeness so that you can confidently emerge and maximize your fullest potential. And I'm here to let you know, guess what? We are not optimizing our fullest potential. Our brains are working probably at about 60% of the full capacity. Just imagine if you allowed yourself to focus and to harness and get, I'm talking laser focus on doing what's necessary to cut away the dead weights in our lives. And a lot of times these weights show up spiritually first, but then they start to manifest outwardly in our bodies. But when we begin to cut away at the things that are not helping us to come up higher, to shine a little bit brighter, right? To feel a little bit lighter, right? When we begin to cut the weights, the dead weights, I'm talking about dead relationships. I'm talking about dead behaviors that are not serving us to glow up, right? And to secure the bag of our lives. I'm talking about the bag of our emotions, the bag of our finances, the bag of every area of our lives. And we don't begin to set the proper boundaries in place to help us to guard our hearts, mind, body, soul, and spirit, because out of all of that flows the well springs of life. And as they call it in the Eastern world, they call it chi, life force energy, right? If we don't do the things to harness and to protect our life force energy, we're going to find ourselves leaking everywhere. And I don't know about you, but have you ever experienced a situation where you're on an emotional highs and lows, and you're up and down emotional roller coasters, and you find yourself leaking, like, you just feel drained emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? You feel drained. And when you're feeling those things, it's necessary to go inward and get to the root of, what am I allowing myself to do when it comes to giving my power away? And we have to get real with ourselves, and we have to do some real assessing, whether that's setting proper boundaries in place to help us to make sure we communicate effectively to let people know what the expectation is. And we have to be really real and transparent with ourselves to make sure that we are allowing ourselves to put those proper things in place so that we can be more effective in every area of our life. And so just wanted to share those tidbits with you all on today. Those are some of the things that we will cover in a sacred journey to ignite your beautiful soul. If you are interested, feel free to send me a message on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, or if you are on YouTube. Feel free to send a message or drop a message in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, feel free to send me a message on Facebook, or go to the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, and you can go to linktr.ee, which is Linktree/Andrea, the Life Igniter. And I'm going to share that link here on Instagram so that you all can see that as well. And bear with me for just a second, because I am using a whole new platform here to share out all the information with you all. And there we go. There. If you want to book a free breakthrough strategy session, you can do that by going to that link. And as I said, if you are on Instagram, that link is in my bio up at the top, and you can book a free breakthrough strategy session. And we can talk about what is holding you back, what's hindering you from maximizing your fullest potential. And we can have that discussion to help you get to the next level, or begin your own sacred journey within, so that you can rediscover all of the beautiful things and talents within yourself, but and really begin to implement some things to help you get to the next level. So I'm truly excited to let you all know that my schedule is open for that. And I will love to have that conversation with you. But I hope and I pray that the information that was shared, especially about your calling, when it's calling you to come up higher, it's calling you to come forward into view, it's calling you to do the things that are completely outside of your comfort zone, that you become inspired to do it afraid. There is no other way around it. You could try to run from fear. You could try to go under fear. You could try to go over fear. But I'm telling you now, you ain't going to get nowhere fast. It really requires you to be courageous, to stare fear in the face and say, look, I don't care. You stare me in the face, but I'm going to go straight through you with confidence, with the boldness to know that, guess what? If God is before me, can't nothing and nobody come against me. And we know that He's on the inside. So if he's before us, he's in front of you and he is for you, you don't have to be afraid. You can stand up courageous. You can stand up in your confidence. And for you ladies out there, exemplify that divine feminine energy that is so eloquently represented as the wisdom of God. When we really begin to get in tune with him, and we have that deep, innermost, sincere connection with the divine union on the inside, when we can learn to love ourselves first, and we learn to have not look for anything outside of ourselves, but to secure what's inside of us first, guess what? Our cups are going to be overflowing. We're going to give birth to children who are going to be more whole. And then we're going to also help to change the energetic vibration of our generational family line. And that is huge. That when we come together collectively and we begin to do the work, how much of an impact us as women really can have on the world. And so it starts with us. We are the carriers of life. We cultivate life. And when we begin to till our own gardens and uproot those things, those weeds, those tares that are within us, guess what? We can pave the way for new life. And really, when you get it down to a science, it's spiritual. A woman paved the way for Christ to come forth. And so us as women, we're doing the same thing. And so collectively, there are a lot of women who are feeling the need to heal, like to be whole, and to no longer accept anything less than what God has designed for us. And so in that, really, there's a charge for the bride to arise. And so we have to do the work. We have to get rid of the spots in our skin, the blemishes in our skin. That comes with not allowing ourselves to be stressed out. That comes with us really focusing on and setting the environment and the tone within our temples to cut away those dead things that are robbing us of our energy and really showing up with our beautiful, most authentic selves. And that's becoming the beautiful butterfly that is authentically you, and showing up in a way, like I said before, that's confident, that's eloquent, and that's graceful. And that can really make an impact in this world. So I pray that everything that I've shared has encouraged you, inspired you to take another step, to do the work, to do what's necessary so that you can show up in a way that is a blessing to, if you have children, to your children, a blessing to every person who was connected to you, because we have this feminine essence that's just a sweet smelling aroma that does exude out of us as women. We just do because that's the way that God designed us. And so just want to encourage you. You're not alone. If you need help being guided through that process, I'm here to help you. Feel free, book a call. I love to have that conversation with you so that we can link up together. Let's work through this stuff together. I'm looking to build a tribe of women who are not, who you may be afraid, but when we come together, you're going to become ignited. That's all I know. You're going to become ignited as long as you're willing to do the work so that you can show up in your most beautiful, authentic self. And so with that, I'm signing off on tonight, and I can't wait to come back on here on tomorrow. Join me tomorrow at 8:30. I will be on Clubhouse. Not tomorrow. It's actually Wednesday at 8:30. Myself, along with my boss bestie friends, Coach B and that bold Coach Lynn. We are in the Keepers Movement on Clubhouse, just sharing all kinds of things from mind, body, soul, spirit to finances, and just offering a little bit of encouragement and motivation on Clubhouse at 8:30 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I'm going on Wednesday at 8:30, sharing some ignited wisdom to bring to you, to help you, inspire you, encourage you with self-love, wholeness, and hope so that you can live ignited in every area of your life. And I would love to have you tune in. Feel free if you want to add in on the conversation. We welcome that as well. But I look forward to sharing those nuggets with you all also. And I also look forward to coming back on here live tomorrow to share with you all a little bit more of what God is depositing in my heart to share with you. So I look forward to that opportunity. You all have an amazing rest of your evening, and feel free once again to share and comment if this has inspired you in any type of way. And with that, signing off, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your evening. Take care.